and you walk through the front door and you think you're going to walk into somebody's living room. And then all of a sudden behind it is a massive recording studio with everything in it. There's no other place in the world like this. I'll take a minute just to talk about recording studios. I've been very lucky and extremely grateful to be able to work in many, many different recording studios all over the world. I've always thought about, like, what's the difference between working in, say, London to New York to Nashville to Los Angeles? Is there a difference? And I think obviously because of the way things are recorded and mixed today, people are working at their houses on a computer. But as somebody that's been working in recording studios pretty well their whole life from the beginning, and we're going back, I don't even want to tell you how far we're going back, but there is a difference. And I think there's an ambience. And I think running a recording studio and even having one of my own is very difficult because you're really like a hotel. You got people coming and going. You've got to make them comfortable. You've got to have a lounge. That's always been important if you want a band staying with you and things like that. But really, there is a different vibe. Like when you're recording in London, it's kind of more corporate, but the gear is kept extremely well and the tech is really well. And I think you probably say that in each city. But when I walk up and down the street where we are here in Nashville, as I have, there's tons of recording studios, but a lot of them are in houses. So it looks like a house. And you walk through the front door and you think you're going to walk into somebody's living room. And then all of a sudden behind it is a massive recording studio with everything in it. There's no other place in the world like this. And I'm talking about all of the street you can go around in their houses. It looks like families live with them. They're so busy, these studios, so the maintenance has to be very high level. Today I'm in Peter Frampton's private studio, and it's incredible. This console I'm working on looks brand new. Who would have thought? I mean, this thing is from 1990, and there's not a mark on it because it's been babied. And all the gear behind me, it's incredible. New York is dirty. The studios are a little bit grimy, and they've moved from Manhattan because of the price of studios. Studio space in New York is kind of gone, so they're all out in Brooklyn now. That's where all the studios are. Not to say that's cheap. And then in LA, there was always studios in people's garages and things like that, and then the city kind of clamped down a bit. And I made new rules for hiring people to come and work in your room and having employees and everything. So there is a difference. And I feel like when I'm in a studio in LA, it's a lot more chill and laid back. When I'm in New York, it's kind of like super hyper, like you come out of the studio onto the street and it's like, Nashville, I'm on a suburban street. Most of the studios are like that here in someone's house, or they're out in, some farm somewhere. And I feel like if you're doing a certain act and you're going to use a recording studio, you kind of have to pick the city that matches the music. Like places like probably New York or London are probably better to do heavier records because it kind of lives and breathes. Well, I guess you could say LA to a certain degree, but Nashville's changing too. I mean, there's a lot more pop music here. And it's not just country anymore. All the people moved from Los Angeles. So what you're going to look for is always like a very well-maintained room with gear that works and a great staff. And most studios have a pretty darn good staff. But what you really want to make sure is everything works, because you don't want to go pay money to go into a studio and things are broken or not taken care of. And I can see everything where I'm working right now is absolutely perfect, as I said. It's not always that way.